From the All Indiana Podcast Network.
The All Indiana Podcast Network.
This is the News 8 Daily 8.
Now all the latest news.
Kylie Conway has all the news you need to know.
And more.
Please stand by.
Now, here's Wish TV's Kylie Conway.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is the News 8 Daily 8 for Wednesday, April 28th. A dry start, but don't forget your rain gear if you're heading out this morning because we're expecting showers and storms throughout much of the day. Highs will stay above average in the mid to upper 70s.
The challenge with a speech like this, and really any time a president speaks, is that he knows he has different audiences with different priorities and values. You're not going to please everyone and all the things, but hit the main target point so he's pleasing enough people in the span of the speech in which he's delivering. He campaigned talking about bipartisanship. A lot of people supported him on the basis of bipartisanship, but we haven't really seen that theme in action yet.
President Biden will push his policy proposals in a primetime speech. Tonight's address to a joint session of Congress will be like none we've seen before. There will be pandemic protocols. Around 200 members of Congress attending are prohibited from bringing anyone. That's a fraction of the 1,600 people normally who attend. COVID-19 testing or proof of vaccination will be required. First Lady Jill Biden's guest box will be empty, along with the traditional presidential box for invited guests. The event has been designated as a national special security event, which mobilizes the nation's top law enforcement and security agencies. That is typical for joint addresses, but there are extra layers of security this year following the Capitol insurrection. Biden will have a historic backdrop. Two women, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Vice President Kamala Harris. For the first time, they will sit behind the president. Pelosi invited Biden to the chamber to share his vision for addressing the challenges and opportunities of this historic moment. And this morning, we've learned of one key element the president plans to roll out that will affect a lot of families. Biden will announce the plans for free preschool as part of his American Families Plan. It's a $200 billion investment. The proposal would provide preschool for all 3- and 4-year-olds through a national partnership with states. The White House estimates it will benefit 5 million children and save the average family $13,000 when the plan is fully in place. And University of Indianapolis Assistant Professor of Political Science, Dr. Laura Wilson, says the president will talk about the future, especially the $1 trillion plus human infrastructure plan. This focuses on childcare, healthcare, education, and other aspects of everyday life. It would be paid for by increasing taxes on the wealthy, specifically those who make more than $400,000 a year. Dr. Wilson says Biden will also highlight his accomplishments like meeting vaccine goals and the $1.9 trillion COVID relief package, which sent $1,400 stimulus checks to families across the country.
He's thinking a great deal about what message he can send directly to the American people about what progress we've been made, but of course what challenges remain ahead.
One thing Dr. Wilson says the president won't likely mention is the border crisis. She says in general, Americans aren't looking at it as a major issue that impacts their everyday life like COVID-19. She says bringing it up would create tension and rile up those upset between the change in administrations. It's also possible the president could address gun control as the influx of mass shootings continues. Republican Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina will deliver the GOP response. Scott is the only black Republican in the Senate, and he leads the party's negotiating team on police reforms. Minority Leader Mitch McConnell called him one of the most inspiring and unifying leaders in the nation. In a tweet overnight, Scott says he's ready to share the GOP message of hope and opportunity. And up next, the president plans to travel to sell the plan. He and the First Lady are scheduled to go to Atlanta tomorrow. Then Biden will head to Philadelphia Friday. Vice President Harris will travel to Baltimore tomorrow, then head to Ohio for a stop on Friday. You can watch the president speak to Congress live on Wish TV tonight. We will also stream it on our website, wishtv.com, and on our Facebook page. The address is set to start at 9 p.m. American and Iranian warships had a tense encounter in the Persian Gulf. According to the U.S. Navy, Iran's boats came within 68 yards of the ships Monday night. The U.S. Navy actually shared some video on Twitter showing the ships in close range. The interaction prompted one of the ships to fire warning shots. The Iranian boats then backed away to a safe distance. This was the second such incident involving Iran's Navy this month in the Persian Gulf. On April 2nd, 4 Iranian ships came within 70 yards of 2 Coast Guard cutters. India has surpassed 200,000 coronavirus deaths. The nation's health ministry reported 3,293 new deaths yesterday, bringing the total to 201,187. Health experts have warned those numbers could be far below true totals even. The surge of cases is devastating the nation's hospital systems. There are reports of COVID-19 patients suffocating because many hospitals have run out of oxygen. The CDC is no longer urging vaccinated people to wear masks in most outdoor situations, only recommending them in big crowds. The new guidelines are also eased for unvaccinated people outside, though not as much. The differences are sharper for indoor activities. The CDC still recommends masks for all and says going to places like theaters, church, restaurants, and gyms are among the least safe things you can do if you haven't gotten the shot. But if you're fully vaccinated, the agency says masked visits to all of those are safest. President Biden underscored the point.
The bottom line is clear. If you're vaccinated, you can do more things more safely, both outdoors as well as indoors.
For vaccinated people, the guidelines apply 2 weeks after your last shot. Wish TV will be airing a new special, Vaccine Central Town Hall, tomorrow night. We're going to have experts join us in the studio for an in-depth conversation. It'll focus on vaccines, mental health, and planning summer activities and travel. Again, that is tomorrow night, Thursday, at 6 o'clock on Wish TV. Today, there will be a Show Up for Racial Justice gathering to show support for Asian Americans in Carmel. According to the city, multiple speakers and guests will attend, including members of the Mayor's Commission on Human Relations, the president of the Asian American Alliance, and the president of the Indianapolis Chinese Community Center. The gathering is set to start at 6 o'clock at the gazebo next to City Hall. And some of the people protesting a deadly police shooting in North Carolina are now in police custody. The mayor of Elizabeth City declared a state of emergency and imposed a curfew as tensions grow over the shooting of Andrew Brown Jr. Officers arrested at least 6 people last night. They face charges of violating the curfew and blocking a highway. And we may be seeing body camera video of the arrest and shooting soon. A hearing today could lead to its release. A local sheriff has already said he plans to release it, but by law, a judge must make the final decision. A sheriff's deputy shot Brown last week. Attorneys for the Brown family are sharing the results of an independent autopsy. They say it shows he was shot 5 times, including a fatal shot to the back of the head as Brown tried to drive away.
It was a kill shot to the back of the head.
Those 3 gunshots to the arm, that wasn't enough? That wasn't enough? It's obvious he was trying to get away. It's obvious. And they gonna shoot him in the back of the head.
The FBI is launching a federal civil rights investigation into the shooting. A new poll shows most Americans agree with the jury's decision in the Derek Chauvin trial. CNN polled about 1,000 people. 77% say that they are satisfied with the guilty verdict for Chauvin in the death of George Floyd. 16% are dissatisfied. 6% offered no opinion. The poll also broke down opinions by political affiliation. 97% of Democrats say that they are satisfied. 53% Republicans are. 77% of independents say that they're satisfied. Chauvin's sentencing is set for June 25th. A murder victim's family wants people to stop sharing some pictures. The Delphi double murder of Abby Williams and Libby German is still unsolved. And recently, more people have been sharing side-by-side pictures of the suspect's sketch and someone else who may resemble the sketch. German's family cautions against that tactic, saying it does more harm than good. They urge you to call police if you have a tip instead. A local mental health facility is hoping to end the stigma of getting help. New Day Treatment Center is among many mental health and recovery facilities that have seen a rise in cases within the last year, whether it's seeing people who are dealing with emotional stress, addiction, or suicidal thoughts. Data from the National Alliance of Mental Illness shows in 2019, nearly 44% of U.S. adults with a mental illness have received treatment. 18.4% of those adults also experienced a substance use disorder in 2019. The organization says suicide is the second leading cause of death among people aged 10 to 34 years old. New Day says substance abuse disorders is one of the leading causes of suicide. The center specializes in drug addiction and recovery and has a residential program for men in Bloomington. It also works with patients' families from start to finish, as the center believes having a good support system is important.
Being a support system that is really going to listen to them, really take them at face value and hear what they're saying and help, guide them and just sit with them when they need someone to sit with, but really support them through their journey. And again, not thinking the journey ends just because a certain treatment has ended.
New Day provides individuals, couples, and families with additional resources like outpatient groups, partial hospitalization groups, and counseling in Marion County. If you or anyone you know is experiencing suicidal thoughts, please call the National Suicide Prevention Line at 1-800-273-TALK. It's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. A lack of truck drivers could lead to a gas shortage over the summer. That's based on numbers from the National Tank Truck Carriers Trade Group. According to the group, up to 25% of tanker trucks will stay parked heading into the warmer months, meaning they're not going to be delivering gas to gas stations. That was 10% at the same time in 2019. The group says the lack of qualified drivers, combined with the closure of driver schools early in the pandemic, are what's leading to the driver shortage. And you have now more time to get your real ID if you haven't done so already. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security says it will start to enforce the ID requirements on May 3rd of 2023. The Indiana state government's website says that is 735 days away. The department says this latest delay is due to the limited operating capacity of many state driver licenses facilities. DHS first delayed the requirement in March of last year due to the pandemic. According to the department, 43% of United States IDs are compliant with Real ID security standards, so a lot of people still have to meet that. A mass text alert has touched off some strong reaction here locally. You may have gotten it mid-morning yesterday. The state health department sent it out to let everyone know about a vaccination clinic at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It came in as a public safety alert. The alert system has most often been used for Amber Alerts and threats of imminent public danger. Former President Trump also used the system to send out messages. FEMA says public safety alerts are designed to provide information on non-imminent threats. Some did not get the one yesterday. Karen Spittler says she received it 4 times.
If this becomes a habit, this becomes a norm, then when actual emergencies arise, people aren't going to pay attention. It's like the boy who cried wolf.
In a statement, the state health department says the alert met FEMA guidelines, but the agency declined our request to talk about it further. Officials are not saying how many people actually received the text. Governor Holcomb is suing the state legislature over emergency powers. He's asking a judge to issue a permanent injunction to prevent parts of a new state law from being used. The law allows legislative leaders to call the General Assembly into a special session. Holcomb claims the law is unconstitutional. He vetoed the bill, but lawmakers overrode that veto. The law is in response to how the governor issued restrictions at the beginning of the pandemic. Indiana Representative Larry Bucshon is joining other Republican doctors in Congress to launch a public service campaign. According to Bucshon's office, it's part of Congress's efforts to encourage more people to get the COVID-19 vaccine. The senators and representatives are asking Americans to talk with their doctors when considering getting the shot.
Look, this vaccine is safe. Operation Warp Speed brought us safe and effective vaccines, and all in record time.
I hope you'll join me, along with over 100 million Americans, in choosing to receive the vaccine.
According to the CDC COVID data tracker, more than 96 million Americans are fully vaccinated. Thousands of genetically modified mosquitoes will start flying around the Florida Keys in the coming weeks. It's part of a project that's been in the works for the past several years. According to the project's website, non-biting modified male mosquitoes will be released into the wild. The hope is that the males will breed with biting females. The females can spread diseases like Zika virus and yellow fever. Any female offspring should not survive. The EPA says this method should help control the population of the invasive species. A limited number of tickets go on sale at 10 o'clock this morning for Indianapolis Indians games. The first 6 games will be limited to 25% capacity for fans, meaning 3,450 fans. Face coverings will be required for all fans over the age of 2 years old. Face coverings may be removed when eating and drinking in ticketed seat locations. Seating options will be sold in pods of 2, 4, or 6 to ensure social distancing. Concessions will be cashless. Digital ticketing systems will be implemented to provide safe, convenient, secure ways for fans to use and share tickets. Contactless entry for fans entering Victory Field will be in place as well. The team will release Victory Field's capacity allowance and ticket information as the season progresses. Those details will be unveiled once they're approved for games that take place from June through September. The league started a little later to have more players get vaccinated, celebrating 25 years at Victory Field this year. The home opener is set for May 11th against Toledo. Games go through the 16th. You can buy a single game ticket at tickets@indyindians.com. or call the box office. Remember, if you can't make it to the games, you can catch a lot of the Indianapolis Indians home games this season on MyIndy TV 23. And to business headlines, some states have opened college savings accounts for newborns, and the early results are good. Oklahoma's savings account for newborns spurred a greater interest in pursuing higher education. While the study is not completed, research published this month shows that the families given accounts were more college-focused and contributed more of their own money than those without accounts. Pfizer's experimental oral drug to treat COVID-19 at the first sign of illness could be available by the end of the year. The CEO says the drug is part of a class of medicines called protease inhibitors and works with inhibiting an enzyme that the virus needs to replicate in human cells. Clinical trials have to happen and be successful, and the FDA has to approve it before it will be available. Senate Democrats are pushing for stricter oversight of puppy mills amid a pandemic-fueled increase in pet adoptions. The lawmakers are calling for bigger cages, mandated exercise, and socialization for dogs that are in the care of breeders. The so-called Puppy Protection Act would also require screenings by vets before breeding. Pet adoptions have surged during the pandemic as people spent more time at home. Hasbro is set to raise prices on toys and games as costs surge. The company's been surging demand for its Nerf blasters and board games from families spending more time at home. Resin, packaging, and metal prices, as well as transportation costs, are going up for the toy maker. And Amazon is rolling out new kid-friendly tablets with features that will adapt as young users grow older. The tech giant announced the launch of the Fire Kids Pro, which will come with a 7, 8, or 10-inch HD screen. The tablets are available to pre-orders starting Tuesday and will begin shipping May 26th. Prices start at $99.99 and rise to $199.99 for the 10-inch model. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
Check out more podcasts from the All Indiana Podcast Network now at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.
allindianapodcastnetwork.com.